Hello everyone, Sergi Taste here, and today we're back on Europa Universalis 4, and in this video I am going to talk about the new Austria update and the new DLC Emperor. In this video I am not going to cover all of the new additions, since many YouTubers already did that, but I am going to basically tell you what my experience was with this new version of the game, especially in multiplayer games, since I have played some of those, and I feel like it is necessary to tell you guys about some things which I have experienced. So, first of all, I am really happy with this new yeah, this new European Series 4. It's basically another game. uh, the, the new DLC adds a lot of features. As you can see, the little icon says a lot. Yeah, a lot of things in general. European mission trees, papal bulls, revolutionary zeal, new imperial reforms, imperial incidents. You can read those for yourself, and I'm really impressed. I mean, just look at Conquest of Paradise, which was the first, which is the first DLC, and now look at Emperor. How many things it has. It it basically is a total revamp. It's like an overall of the game. But for continuing on my arguments, I'm going to start playing here as Russia, and we're not, as you can see on the starting date, we are on the latest starting date, because I want to show you off some things. So we're going to play as Russia, and I'm going to start off with governing capacity, which is a new feature that was added. It replaces the states mechanic, which I mean, there's still states, as you can see here. There's still states, but there isn't a state limit. Instead, in the expansion tab, there's governing capacity, which is basically a development limit for your for your capacity of governing your nation. So, uh, what do I think about this? Well, the states mechanic, in my opinion, was honestly really boring, and overall was didn't really make any sense in my opinion. This governing capacity instead actually makes for some big strategy, and here in the current reforms, it actually adds some more utility to the to the reform progress. So instead of just using the reform progress for your reforms, which some government forms add could definitely reach the maximum tier really easily and early on. Now they actually can use the government reform for expanding administration, which increases the governing capacity. But why am I talking about this? And why are we in Russia? Basically, there's Russia. The Paradox tried to make Russia underpowered, or maybe just reduce its power, but they actually increase it by a lot. So instead of having states, if you see the autonomy in most areas, as you can see, it's minimal. I'm clicking on all of these provinces, and almost cites some having zero autonomy. Also, now there's a trade company. So with Russia, you can do a thousand of things. You can add the either the Turin trade company or the Siberian trade company. if you don't make them as states, well, the with the starting date with Russia right now, I can't actually make three companies yet. But trust me, in a game as Russia, which I've tried, you can either make them all of these states, so basically zero autonomy, and with zero autonomy you get the full tax, production, and manpower, and also overall the trade power. Or if you make them a trade company, you can get a lot more trade power, and that means a lot of monies. So overall, Russia has definitely become very good, but there's like a path here, which is Russian Empire governing capacity plus 33%. Now, as you can see here, we have 2050 governing capacity plus 33%, basically close to 3000. And trust me, with administrative ideas and some events, and by expanding a bit the administration, which you will totally do as Russia, since you have your government sorry, your government thingy here, which is reform subandi, which will impact autonomy by -10 in all of your provinces. So you can definitely do that as Russia really early on. I actually got the TF5 reform into in 1536. So by the 17th century, you will definitely have a government point for your administration, and Russia is just overpowered with governing capacity, with the capability of making all of these states and even more on. Russia can get Persia, and can make a trade company over there. Overall, Russia is overpowered here, but with the overpowered nation, it's not just that. If we go here in Prussia, now militarization is probably the best government ability in all of the game. As you can see here, uh, yeah, there's militarization, which well, probably I need to make it to its full progress extent. Sorry. And as you can see, at 100% militarization, the Prussia will get plus 10% discipline, minus 20% land maintenance, and plus 20% manpower core speed. But here it didn't change much. Besides, as you can see here, militarization won't decay as it did previously. Basically, militarization decreased as Prussia grew larger and larger. So if you had a large Prussia, you basically had a very high decay of militarization every month. But now it won't decrease, so you will have these insane buffs forever if you reach the 100% modifier. And overall, just with this, Prussia is like overpowered there even more. And now his mission tree is really good. Administrative efficiency plus 10, plus 5%. There's this. There's the Edict of Potsdam. There's an army with a state, which is even more powerful. Oh my god, I just look at the mission tree. Now, there's here, if you tag France, France, its mission tree is really good. Even here, I would say sometimes is definitely overpowered in some cases, um, especially going on with the revolution. There's a lot of things that people can do, and now I would like to show you another mission tree, which is that of oh my god, the knight, which as you can see, there's some there's some mission here which are definitely powerful. If you complete the Fountain of Youth mission as the knights, you'll get average monarch lifespan plus 15%, and the Ark of Covenant is, if you go on the event, it will get you some really crazy buffs. What am I saying here? Why am I picking Russia, Prussia, France, and even the Knights? Well, I picked the Knights since they are the last Crusader nation in the game at the starting date, but overall, I could pick all of the mission tree of the Crusader, especially Jerusalem, which is now like overpowered, even more overpowered. Basically, what can you do with Jerusalem? If you conquer Jerusalem, it will get you the the government reform, which is Crusader states, and there's a very little thing about that, which is called religious CB, and if you if you complete the religious ideas, you'll get Deus Vult. Okay, what does it does? What does it do? Oh my god, I can say today. Sorry. What does it do with Crusader states? Basically, if you complete both the religious ideas and if you have the Crusader state government reform, you'll get a permanent casus belli against all the heathens and heretics in all of the world. So you could imagine how overpowered it will be if you call, especially in multiplayer games, if you have basically an imperialism casus belli before imperialism shows up, before attack 21, I think. So that is definitely overpowered in my opinion. I saw in a multiplayer game someone from Jerusalem get a bit of a Red Sea to form a little transport fleet and vassalize an Indian nation, and then basically expand all over the place here, and then going into Japan. Overall, you can do a lot of things with an imperialist casus belli. I understand that it's a bit hard to form Jerusalem, but I mean for some players. But if you are a bit experienced, and especially in a multiplayer game, it's really easy to form Jerusalem now. And yeah, but it's not about Jerusalem overall. It's just about the update in general. There's upsides and downsides to here. Uh, the update came with a lot of problems, especially with bugs, especially with technical problems. Now, the mod making community also had some problems, and there are some fixes, but I didn't really expect that there could have been so much mess with the technical stuff in this update. Also, in my opinion, now multiplayer games are definitely unbalanced if you pick some nations. There's just too many things which they added, and maybe they shouldn't have added so much with so less bug testing and overall balance testing. So, what is the final verdict about both the DLC and the update? The update, I would rate it probably 6 out of 10 due to mostly the fact that there are a lot of bugs currently, especially with peace deals and overall a lot of things. Also, the Empire before an hotfix, the Empire was an ultra mess. Definitely, that that was just messy, and and the game was barely playable in the German and Italian region. And about the DLC, I will definitely give it an 8 out of 10. It isn't the perfect DLC because it adds some very unbalanced mission trees. Some nations which are now formable are a bit too overpowered, but Emperor is probably like on the top 3 essential DLCs in Europa Universalis 4 for the moment. I would put it probably on the second most useful DLC in all of Europa Universalis now. Art of War is the most essential still, but Emperor is almost as important as Art of War. And yeah, so this is the final visit. Just one thing I'm hoping for to Paradox is that they actually patch most of the problems that there are currently in the game. And yeah, that's it. Um, I really enjoy this game, but sometimes they Paradox messes up, and yeah, the community sees it. And there's yet some problems, but I hope that in the next updates it will get patched. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you understand some things better overall, especially with multiplayer games. And yeah, so for today, it's everything, and see you guys.